We are live. Holy shit, bro. All right. Yeah, so after about an hour fucking trying to get shit to work, we look like we got it going. This is Chris Negrete, drummer for the Subtle Madness. I talked him into hanging out and talking a little bit tonight and telling him a little bit about ourselves. I introducing the guys. So Chris, would you like to rehash that, man? I think that's an interesting
Yeah,
question. I
no,
really like where you took it. As
um,
far
no, for
hit me
sure.
with that again.
My name is Chris. I'm the person that Matt deemed good enough to play his backing drum tracks for him when he decides to hit the stage again with the subtle sexiness. I'm sorry, the subtle madness.
So
But
sexiness.
yeah, um, I
Hell yeah.
drum I drummed for Silhouette before, which was again one of Matt's brain children back in the day, but I joined a little after his tenure there, unfortunately. So officially, we have not shared a stage together, but we have definitely had many a jam session together.
No doubt. No doubt. One of the few people I've actually had just like instant chemistry with, man, like where we could just go off and basically feel what each other was doing, freestyle, rock, like I dug it. Our
Yeah,
first
man.
one was in your garage for
I
3 hours.
I love drumming to anything and everything that presents, just something different and challenging almost. And I like those one-on-one jam sessions. Just you just never know what direction it's gonna go. But whenever, like you said, man, whenever you and I clicked and we just fucking followed each other like it was nothing, man. Like that. I could do that shit all day. I don't need, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? There was some
No doubt. Me
if
too.
there was an audience out there that would just listen to two people just jam whatever they were feeling and it would blend and span over many different genres, then we would do that, I'm sure. But it's not quite so easy.
Yeah. No doubt, man. It's kind of a Grateful Dead type thing,
Yeah, for sure.
jam band. But yeah. But yeah. Tell us a little bit about your background, man, as far as drumming and all that. Disclaimer:
Oh,
Chris
hold
is one of
on.
the best drummers for our genre in Dallas, man. I'll say that right now, hands down. I've seen a lot of the cats that played with them, and that's a fact. So I'm really excited to have him be a part of this project with us.
I actually didn't
Take it
start
away, my man.
drumming. I didn't start drumming, or sorry, my first introduction to drumming altogether was middle school percussion in sixth grade. And when I tried out to play percussion, actually, I to be honest, I don't know if you. Whenever I went to middle school, around that time, there was a very popular song because Zoolander had just come out, the movie Zoolander, like '01 or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Trust me, I have a point with this. Um, there's a song in Zoolander that's called "Start the Commotion," and I don't know if anyone knows. Now there it is, start the commotion. Doo 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 doo. Anyway, in that song, there's like a little flute player, and there's like a flute solo. And I was young, and I love that song. I actually wanted to audition to play flute because of that song. But
Right on.
my middle school, they were like, well, not that many guys auditioned for flute. You might want to, they essentially talked me out of auditioning for flute. And that was like that just because of that one song, right? So anyway,
Crush.
I I decided to audition for percussion, for saxophone, and for trumpet. And out of the three auditions that I went to, percussion was the weakest. They said that I had the least likely chance to make percussion than I would trumpet or saxophone. But I really wanted to play percussion. So I asked them, please, if there's any chance I can get in percussion, even if I'm the final one that makes it, just let me do it. And so I made it. And I guess you could say the rest is history, but I played percussion and percussion only up and until about my junior year of high school, whenever Chris Wiley, my boy, shout out Chris Wiley, he brought his drum set to the high school and left it in one of the percussion practice rooms. And I would stay after school, just, and then, but that's what I would be doing. I'd be up drumming on his drum set in that little percussion practice room or whatever. And playing simple
Yeah.
songs. Like I remember I learned one of the first songs that I learned all the way through on drums was Ride by the Vines.
Right
And
on.
it's a little more simple, but that's one of the first drum songs that I learned. And I didn't start learning that until about my junior or senior year. But I'm as far as drum set drumming goes, I learned myself, and I guess you could say I'm self-taught because coming from a concert band setting and moving to like a stage rock band setting are two totally different things. Like I know there's tempo and measures and time signatures, and I mean that's the core basis of music is there, but just the approach to it and the way it's learned, in my opinion, just because of how I learned it. It could be different for
Yeah.
everyone because of how I learned drum set is totally different than percussion. And
You know,
so
I love that though. I'd have to say, like, I didn't start playing guitar till I was like 23. Like, I
yeah,
was vocalist and stuff, and that self-taught avenue, you kind of develop your own style, you develop your own, you know what I mean? If you have an instructor or you take lessons, I think, I mean, you have a maybe a vast background, or you may have a more classically trained style, but I
yeah,
think
and
that when you
so
really grind it out, you develop your style faster, your signature.
yeah, and I've for the most part, okay. Sorry to everyone who's gonna see or hear this part, but the one genre of music that I just don't really vibe with is country. Like I listen to everything. I listen to everything, and I'll jam to just about anything. But I just, for some reason, I cannot get down with country music. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody. That's gonna cause a little stir there, I'm sure. But I don't know. Just um. So I just take. I don't know. I just kind of take a little bit of all that, and I guess just like you said, man, just come up with my own style of drumming. Like I don't sometimes I used to catch myself trying to be like other drummers, emulate that style. I used to listen to
Sure.
Minus the Bear. I mean, I still listen to Minus the Bear a lot. Minus the Bear is one of my favorite bands. At the Drive-Ins, my favorite band of all time.
Oh hell yeah, great
I
pick,
love,
man.
yeah, dude, I love like Fall of Troy, and like just but those genres are all so different, in terms of how the music is presented and the drums and all that. And at different points in my drumming life, I did find myself trying to emulate those drumming styles. Um, but I guess I could never really quite get it down, but not because of my ability, but just because I would always want to add in different shit and just put my own little flavor on it, I guess,
Yeah.
and just that from there, I just kind of just developed my own style. But also, you know what, I let me stop myself. I can't credit it all to myself because there's actually another member in the band. I'm sure everyone's going to know at this point, Dirk, who when I was only drumline and percussion drumming, he was one of my teachers way back in the day. So at that point, you consider a person like that, like their skill level to be way above you. They're teaching you and they're guiding you and they're trying to help you
Sure.
really hone your craft and get better at what you're doing. And he was one of those people. I thought he was and he still is to this day. He's really fucking good. And so
Yeah. Talented
and
cat.
so I had a lot of really good influence from him. I had a lot of good influence from all these old drummers that I went to school with. Um, my buddy Manuel, shout out Manuel, Alex, shout out Alex, all these guys, man. And
Yeah.
but and I would be lying if I would say it's my own style because I have to credit those guys and everything that they taught me and showed me. And to be honest, they did help me shape my drumming style as to what it is now. So like I do feel like I have my own style of drumming, but it's not entirely mine, if that makes sense, because of those guys.
Well, I mean, we are definitely all a product of our influences, and a combination of them, and it gets there's little
I
things
know.
that we bring to the table that are uniquely us, but yeah.
I don't want to make it seem like I'm one of those guys. Like I picked up the sticks one day and it just fell in place for me. Like no, like no, dude.
And then
It
the
took
rest was fucking
it took
faded.
a lot of people's ability, a lot of people's insight, and honestly, a lot of people's support. Those guys that I mentioned specifically to bring out my drumming ability and my drumming style to how it is now. Um,
Right on. Tell us
it's
a little
not
bit
that
about that. I mean, Chris is such a humble cat. Like like I said before, he's one of the best drummers in
And
EFW. One of the best drummers that I've ever had the pleasure of playing with, that I've heard, for our genre especially. But he's a very humble guy, and his I think his path is real lesson to a lot of people as far as being discouraged or staying with it if you really want something, and that's an important deal. So you mind sharing that with
and
him?
like to this day, man, I don't know, I know music, especially local music, everyone makes it in different levels and forms, and some people get paid to do it, some people don't get paid to do it, some people spend their own money just to get on a stage.
Oh yeah, man.
And um I'm not trying to paint myself in a certain light or picture, but I've never made a dollar playing music almost, like, which I don't care. Like, I've played with so many different people, and it's never, it's just been about fun and developing our style and coming up with this music, man. And I never even thought that people would want my ability behind the kit on stage with them, So to me, from being like a self-taught drummer who just did it for fun, like learned simple music, like the Vines and the Hives and shit like that, and just things to as a introductory to drumming and stuff. I just never thought that it would go as far as one day, like, hey man, you're good, and we want you there
Yeah,
behind that kit for us, like, and so that alone to me is fucking awesome, like, and then the fact, and okay, I think this would be a good time to tell that I think that's seriously one of the most gratifying yet insulting moments whenever we played a show at Tomcats, right? And then so Silhouette played and we got off stage, and then this dude, I'll never forget, this dude came up to me and he was like, "Bro, that was badass." You know how they do? They say you did a good job. He's like, "Man, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw you taking the drums up there, I thought you were just the roadie just setting shit up." And I was like, "Yo."
be
But
like,
hey, I
thank
mean,
you, but fuck
because
you.
you know how like even the roadies do the sound checks too, like, because
Oh
and
yeah,
even whenever
dude, drum tech, everything.
so he was like, "Man, I thought you were just the roadie," and I was like, "Damn it,
Yeah.
man," so just just little things like that,
Thank you
man,
for
just
the
like
props.
people, just having like people recognize, of all things, like, hey, the drumming was good, or even having the support of the people who once mentored me and once taught me to get me where I am,
Right.
for them to be like, hey, you're pretty fucking good, man. Like, that to me, that's insane. Like
Oh yeah.
there was a point in time where I thought I could never go toe to toe, with these guys. Like, hey, if you put the sticks up, like, I'm gone. Like, there's no way. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
just and so just for to have this now, and I don't know, dude, this support from these people who are my friends now, used to be my teachers and mentors, and people that I like genuinely looked up to and thought, like, hey, I want to drum that good one day. And I still don't feel like I'm that good. I still feel like, hey, I have a long way to go, but I think I'm just
Well,
ranting.
no, you're good, man. I mean, that is. I think that you grow when you stay humble. I mean, like if you push yourself like that, I mean, like Dirk is a great drummer. Alex was a good drummer. I both of them have played on tracks in the studio for me. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah,
I can't wait. To look forward to doing the next record, man, and hopefully you'll be a part of that where you can actually contribute drums to that. You know,
absolutely.
so yeah, but and they both have their own style. They both played great on. Alex played on the Good Day to Die stuff that I did with Frank. Rest in peace. He's gone now, man. My uncle, who kind of got me started in a lot of this stuff in songwriting and everything, and then Dirk played on songs in this record. You know what I mean? But having
Yeah.
you and just your intensity, just the way that we jammed, the way I've heard you play the Silhouette songs, the way that you really added it, I'm honored, brother. I mean, like, honestly, I think that you have truly outgrown a lot, and I think both of them would tell you, man. You know what I mean? I think you've really come a
No,
long, long way,
and,
and
and that means a lot to me, because I
uh,
mean, I almost almost everyone that I'm friends with now and talk to, like, their music is a part of their lives in some way or another. Like, y'all write music, or they're like, you, Dirk, Alex, my buddy Manuel, even my cousin Freddie plays bass, dude. I have so many people. Just music is just a part of our lives,
yeah, man.
and and I never thought, and and out of everyone I just named, I'm the youngest person, And so I have to say, like, everyone's been doing it longer than me. You know what I mean? Alex been playing music with his family since he was a kid. My cousin Freddie played with our family since he was a kid. Dirk's been playing since I don't know how long, and you've been a badass for who knows how long, man. And like you just everyone's been doing it longer than me, you know. And I just I don't know, man. I never thought like, hey, what's gonna get me to that level, to that point where like, hey, you know, this guy knows what the fuck he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're definitely there, brother. You're definitely there. Like I said, we're lucky to have you, man, and that's facts. So,
Here,
um,
let me pause you for like 10 seconds. Let's take a quick break. Quick break. I'm
sure,
sorry, and then I'm gonna come right back.
problem, man. Not a problem.
By the way, Matt, I know we're recording. This is all recorded. Just between me and you, if I ever get off topic, because again, dude, I'm just kind of like ranting and drinking and chilling. Please be like,
No, I'm
hey,
coming back.
just
Coming back.
just be like,
What you got?
hold on, give me 1 second, bro.
No problem.
I was just saying, just between me and you, like I know we're recording and everything, but if I ever just get off topic and like just start saying bullshit, you can always be like, so you never answered the question, by the way, or whatever.
Wow, man, don't worry. I'm not gonna
Just
hold the
remind,
trunk out you, man.
just remind me a little bit, dude. Because I'm just
No,
sitting
I
here,
love it. The talking is
talking and drinking, man. I'm not even, I
yeah,
don't know, dude. So
that's a beautiful thing,
if I
and that's
start to
how
go
that's
astray, you got to let me know.
no, that's how everybody gets to know you, man. Just kind of it's good. I love it. I love it.
All right,
Share whatever you feel like sharing, man. So
we're back
we're
now,
back.
homeboy.
All right. Cheers. So, um, on some other things, tell everybody about some bands that you dig, man. That are influences on you.
Actually, I'm gonna tell everyone this is a Zoom call, so I am only dressed from the waist up. I know I look all collared up and nice, but down there it's fucking we're free balling it. Let's go.
Bare ass.
So I don't know if anyone is familiar with, or I'm sure you must know, at the drive-in, Mars Volta, Anti-Mask, and all these bands. I have to
Favorite
say,
of mine.
specifically, Cedric and Omar are my
No,
two favorite. They are my two favorite musicians of all time. Um, at the drive-in specifically is my favorite band of all time. But when it comes to those two guys, even solo or apart, anything that they have done or will do or can do, I'm there for it, man. I love those guys.
no doubt.
Um, and so I think I get my drumming intensity from at the drive-in, honestly, because I really, really like Tony's drumming style. Tony's the drummer from at the drive-in, and not that I know him personally. You know, I didn't want to call him the drummer or whatever. But anyway, he's got a really intense drumming style. I don't know, dude. You can just feel that shit even when you're just listening to it. You know,
Almost like that punk ethos, man.
that
Yeah.
yeah, dude. It just packs a punch, man. And so I kind of blend that intensity with the complexity of Minus the Bear. Minus the Bear is another one of my favorite bands, but their music is a little more chill than at the drive-in, but it's very, very like melodic and complex sometimes, and it has really good rhythms. Um, so yeah, man. So another band that I like is this instrumental surf rock band called Daikaiju, and
Oh yeah.
they're all instrumental. They don't have a single song with lyrics in it, and they range from like slow melodic jazzy type riffs to like just really upbeat surf rock stuff. And that drumming to them has helped me build my chops a little bit, just because that drummer uses like a single pedal with like two toms and two cymbals, like just like a really basic setup, and he
Yeah.
does some really intense shit. And I always told myself, I was like, one of these days I'm gonna be able to break it down just like him and play like really good shit like that. So
Which you did. You already had
I,
kind of a stripped down kit when I went to jam
yeah,
with you the
so
first time.
I will say Daikaiju brought my stamina a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of take a little bit away from everything, and then when it comes to hardcore stuff, which is what I listened to a lot in middle school, there's a band called A Plea for Purging, which is they're no longer around, unfortunately. But A Plea for Purging, they're incredible, and their drummer is incredibly good. And I'll be honest, whenever I recorded Silhouette's EP, their 9 pound
Yeah.
EP, there's a drum beat on that album that I'm not gonna lie, I straight ripped off from fucking the drummer from A Plea for Purging, and everyone thought it was badass. They were like, dude, the way you do those double bit, and it was on 9 pound hammer, and the beat is literally like, and then like only because the bass, the feet go like rapid fire for a second, and I
Yeah.
literally stole that from A Plea for Purging just because I don't know, I thought it was so cool, and
Just that
everyone
run. Hell yeah.
and everyone
Super
loved
fast.
it, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone always praised it, and I wish to God I could just take full credit for that. But I like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I ripped that shit off. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, like but at the drive-in for me, man, is number one, absolutely. Or anything by Cedric and Omar. Their other
Yeah. I'm a
band that
huge
they had,
Barcelona fan.
Anti-Mask. Like I
Yeah, and I
think that
love
I like.
Anti-Mask is so cool. Yeah.
I actually think I like Anti-Mask just as much as At the Drive-In, to be honest with you, just because even though the style of music is different, the energy is like it is the same. Like you can still feel that energy from them. And I don't know, man, even though it's not like that, like that post rock or like post punk music. I don't even know the genre specifically.
Sure, sure.
Um, but and I know someone's gonna tear me apart for that if you post this part. They're gonna be like, At the Drive-In wasn't post rock. I forgot what someone's gonna
Fuck
pick
genre,
fucking
man.
cares.
Yeah,
But
everything's
but
fitting
I
anyway.
mean, but Anti-Mask had like such a different feel, but the energy and the vibe to me was just as energetic, and that's what I liked about it. So Cedric and Omar, top definitely number one for me. And I listened to a lot of Japanese music. I have Alex to thank for that because he's the one that showed me a lot of it at first. But the thing I like about Japanese music is just like the jazz infusion to almost
Hell yeah.
everything. um,
No,
to
that's
be
fact.
honest with you, yeah. So jazz music is my number one favorite genre of music ever. Just
Rock and roll, man.
I, I
Awesome.
like I like the freedom and I like the improvisation, but more so I like the communication because if you have like three really strong members playing jazz music, then you can just like riff off of each other
Oh
and
yeah.
just like pass the baton back and forth, and then but it'll just I
Uh,
don't know, man. And it has the freedom to go anywhere. You can solo and play shit that doesn't even match the time signature. As long as those
no,
other
it,
two guys
it
as
claps.
long as those other two guys are just holding it down, like you know what I'm
You get
saying?
fed,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then so jazz just allows for so much freedom, so much improvisation. But as long as that communication is there, like you're gonna hold it down, man. And so
Hell yeah.
that's actually that's why I like Japanese music too, just because there's like a lot of jazz elements and infusion, and especially the drumming, because a lot of the drummers I noticed use a lot of jazz beats, and so it's
Yeah.
really fun to listen to, and it's really fun to try to play too.
I can imagine. That's to that, man. Like one thing that I set out to do when from the very beginning, like we had an original lineup in 2017, and
Yeah,
then there was the second one that did the predisposed EP and kind of got shelved because it came apart. So this is the first time we've actually put out a record. This is actually, even though it's not our first record, it's a debut as far as being released. And but I mean, the
by the
whole
way,
idea was.
can we just take a second and congratulate the Subtle Madness album that has been released? Everyone, Zero Sum, go stream that shit.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's 5 years in the making, brother. When it was mastered in 2022, then a year before it actually got put out. So it's been a project in a while. That I had been the sole member since like 2019 of this writing. Kind of doing the Trent Reznor type thing. But
Yeah, hell
now
yeah, man.
got a band. And I've been. That's just. It's always meant to be a band. It's been a collection of ideas. So but Zero Sum is the beginning of that. And what we set out to do from the very beginning was to be free to play in any style, like whatever matches the song and the at the heart of it. Even within Zero Sum, there's a blues song, there is industrial type music, there's rock, there's metal,
Yeah,
there's all
and I
kinds of
dig it,
stuff. Like,
man. I dig it. I really
yeah,
do.
thank,
And I guess one of the things that I guess you could attribute to my style of drumming is I like to add in unnecessary double bass into everything. Like it can be like the most simple beat or like the most like traditional rock beat, but it's gonna get some fucking double bass in there if
Oh
I'm
yeah.
playing it. It's gonna get
Unnecessary
it.
is also subjective, so like maybe it's necessary. No, yeah, I mean
But
that's good shit, and you got the right basis to hold it down and really pound that out with you, man. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. But going back to the jazz, the one thing that I've always appreciated, and I'm a fan of the genre as well, in that regard. It's a style that I didn't get to incorporate with this record, but I definitely want to do with the next, with us all, So it's cool that you mentioned that because that's definitely something that we want to have on, palette,
yeah, and
to write.
I hope people out there will forgive me for saying this, but I like to drum to almost everything, but the one genre that I just don't get down with, unfortunately, is country. I'll drum to it. Like, don't get me wrong. Hey, if the Subtle Madness wanted to put out for some reason a country album, I'd be drumming on it. But I hope you know I'd probably be drunk or grimacing behind the microphone the whole time.
Grimacing. Maybe a song, not an album, man.
I'll fucking do it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, but it just listening to as many different things as I've listened to. And actually, I didn't when I was in high school and I was learning to drum and stuff. I listened to a lot of like post-hardcore stuff and like metal music and things like that, like really hard rock stuff. Um, so actually, in high school, I didn't listen to a lot of hip hop and rap at all, and it wasn't until a few years ago that I started to get more into hip hop and rap and even old
Oh,
school stuff too.
yeah.
I know a lot of people don't probably won't like him if you know the details behind it, but there's a rapper, South Park Mexican, who is from like the late '90s and 2000s and stuff.
Yeah, I
And
actually did a track with Brown in the studio, man. Ransom
yeah, man,
on Dope House.
that's
Yeah,
badass, dude. And
yeah,
I like a lot of I actually like his music a lot. I mean, and whether it's a machine or not, but just because it sounds like a drummer, like it sounds like
ooh,
someone just getting behind a kit and just playing simple rap beats or
yeah,
whatever, you know. And um, so when I actually started listening to hip hop and rap, the more simple beats like that is where I
yeah.
introduce myself. But like all the there's I don't even know the genres, man. Like there's like trap beats which are like really hi-hat heavy,
Oh
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like and there's other beats that are like snare heavy and stuff and bass heavy. So listening to newer hip hop and rap and getting more into it has helped me incorporate a lot of the unnecessary like little hi-hat licks and stuff. You know what I'm
I love
saying?
that. I love that.
So it's
That's cool,
cool.
man. That influences come from everywhere. I mean, like I was a fan of hip hop growing up, and rock and metal has kind of been my thing, for the longest time. But when I got the
Yeah.
opportunity to work for Session Works, that'd be shout out to Jeff and Sean over there, man. It was really cool. They do a lot of hip hop there, so I got to work with some great artists. One of them's name's OAO Kells, Calvin. We actually talked to him about possibly opening up our College Station show in Stafford,
Nice.
and doing stuff. And another guy named Monroe, but that love for the genre came back, and with the beats and everything, and I watched some videos about some of these old school producers, like the ones that are really well known, man. Some of those New York guys, like Nas' first
Yeah.
album. No, I'm a big fan of Nas because I love lyrical content. Like I love substance, and like, he is a fucking poet, and so that first,
Yeah.
like when New York State of Mind, and he had all the damn DJs and producers coming out to, like, he was getting crowned basically. They were all doing a song on his record, and watching some of those cats with just an 808 and how they were coming up with shit just on the fly like that, and just hitting it. It was beautiful, man. Like
And
just
I'll
fucking
be honest,
tapping.
even whenever I watch videos of like these like beat producers and like and people that just stand behind like a drum pad basically,
Yeah,
and they're still able to make those beats like that. Like even that to me is like because and I get like you have
warm up
everything
drum.
like you have everything at the touch of a button. Like you could play a button and it would play like a triplet hi-hat beat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but everything is at the touch of a button. And I always wanted to um whenever I watch those kinds of beat makers and producers and stuff who make those like beats and stuff just on a drum pad, I wanted like I try to learn that stuff on drum set because you just don't have it all at the tip of your fingers and shit,
Sure,
So
sure, yeah.
it makes it a lot more
You
fun and a
humanize
lot more challenging to try to
Yeah,
learn some of that stuff. and to just to have fun with it and play. So
Yeah.
I think that that's another reason why I started listening to that a little bit more, just because some of those like some of those beats, you're like, how the fuck? And then you just, I don't know, you
Hell
just
yeah.
learn to play it and then you just play it.
Hell
I don't
yeah.
know, man.
That's awesome, man. With the country thing, like I agree with you for the most part, man. I definitely that's been a genre, and it's come down to substance. Like the lyrics are kind of lame. They're so cliche until we kind of got like your Zach Bryan's and some of those
Like,
outlaw
okay,
revival
like I
kind of
get it.
artists.
Like you all have a truck, you like honky tonks and beer, and you like
Your woman
a
left
big,
you.
yeah, you like your big tittied woman doesn't like you anymore or something, like whatever the I don't know, man. It just, I'm not gonna hate on country too much. They're gonna come for me. I know it. They're gonna be like, this motherfucker, this roadie ass
No,
son of a bitch.
but it's that Nashville sound, man. When Texas became a hotspot, almost like Seattle was for rock music, alternative. Pardon me. When it became like the place to play, and we got that Texas country kind of sound. It was a blending of like blues and rock and roll, and it kind of mixed that. Like I remember at doing something, and there was a bunch of Texas country bands, and I was it was background noise to me for the longest time. And then these guys, Whiskey Myers, came on, and fucking they just came on, and they had two guitarists that were just dueling from the jump. They're playing rock and roll, man. It's like Molly Hatchet,
Oh hell
little
yeah.
skinny like that. You know what I mean? And great fucking songwriters, great musicians. Like everybody stopped what they were doing and just turned around and then just crowded the stage, man. Like they had a presence and just energy. So that's kind of
Well,
what we're getting now. We're getting that outlaw kind of revival where people are really talking about shit, where that's going on. So I think it's Zach Bryan is one I would definitely recommend, man. It's just singer songwriter stuff almost. He gets placed in the country genre, but really he is truly just a singer songwriter. I mean, like you feel his music on a level, and that's what that genre had been missing for the longest time.
for sure. And I should definitely check into it more. I've heard of I know who Zach Bryan is and all these not I'm not saying newer artists. I'm not saying he's a new artist, but I just what my the point I'm trying to make is I've kept up with country more than I used to, but I still don't listen to it, if that makes any sense. Like
Sure, sure.
I know who the
That kind of
artists
stuff's
are,
boring to play drummer too. You know what I mean? Like I
but
always thought the
like,
bassist had the easiest
yeah,
job in the world.
I know who the artists are, and people are like, yeah, they're good, but I'm like, yeah, but they play country, so I'm good, like,
Oh yeah.
so I mean, fuck me, right? I know people think, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just, I don't know, man. And I will say, no, I will say to the Silhouette days whenever I was in, thanks to those guys, because they always did that song "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy," right? And
Yeah, y'all know
even
it. Hell yeah.
even though that was like one of the songs in the set list where I was like, fuck, but I managed to take that song and just like add, just make the drum part to it that I wanted, and it made it fun. So I feel like at this point, like country music, I'm not saying it's all simple, but country music at the core, what it is, I feel like I could take it and just have fun with it and drum to it still. So as much as I say I don't like country, I would still jam the fuck out of it, if that makes any sense.
Right, I'm sure, man. We'll see. Everything has to be organic, man. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like with writing, and that's always been my biggest deal. It doesn't want to feel forced. Like, you don't want to write this kind of song because you want to write this kind of song. Like I'll
For
typically
sure.
have an idea or lyrics or something, and the mood will dictate what style. You know what I mean? Or you
Yeah.
feeling and writing in that style, and then it inspires lyrics. It's always chicken or egg kind of thing. But if it seems like there's something that inspires and it comes with that genre, then that's something. The beauty is that we're always free to explore all of that. The music tells the story just as much through what it offers. So,
Oh, for sure.
but all right. So we were talking a little bit about Silhouette, man. Silhouette was a band that we started. We our first EP was in 2009. The guys had been jamming and writing. They had about 5 songs for a year. When I met them, we I had answered an ad on Craigslist or something, and I'd gone over there that first night, and Dirk had written songs like they already had a vocalist, like he understood arrangement in a certain sense of the word. I mean, and Dirk was
And
your drum teacher, like I said earlier.
yeah,
Like
And
Just
I
excited.
don't want to say that I don't know everything about his life, you know, but I feel like what he knew about composing in terms of and he probably had a maybe more knowledge than I know of, but just coming from my perspective, from having that concert band background and how he was in concert band as well, I can understand how that helped him with composing and arranging songs to
Sure.
yeah, and I definitely get that for sure. Like I could see how that would help him out for sure.
But yeah, it was beautiful, man. Like, and I've always I've always felt music. I feel like, like it could be a bittersweet mistress, man. It can be a lot at times, like you were saying, making money or paying money or putting a lot into it. You know what I mean? To get something off the ground. So, um, but when you really feel it when you channel it, man, and it's organic. Like I could freestyle to different things, and when those guys, their songs, I could just feel it. I could feel the changes coming. Like I just, and so we ran through their set, and I grabbed the mic, and it was beautiful, man. And the same way, like when you and I first started jamming, that's probably one of the other few times I've ever had that kind of chemistry where you're just in a room and you're just going with it. And so that, we burned through that, and Dirk was like, "Damn, Sucky knows our songs." And I had like an MD8 that was given to me by Matt Kelly. Shout out to Matt. He's in a band called Sweet Baby Mayhem. He was actually there for the recording. He played a little guitar on the record.
Oh, nice.
He kind of got started too. He's one of the early influences on me. And but I went and got that MD8, and I threw a mic over the fucking fan and hung it down. And I was like, "Play that last song again." And it was the instrumental for Sonnet. And I recorded them, just a shitty little recording with Mike in a room over the fan. And I ran home after rehearsal that night, and I fucking wrote a song in the Dirt King. I was just so inspired by jamming with them, man. And that ended up being the first song that we got on radio. The first song that helped kind of break us. We headlined shortly after that hit radio, or actually it was almost simultaneous, which was a good break for us. Like, I'd been in bands before. I started out in a metal band. I played with another band called Gammon, which our keyboardist in the Subtle Madness now was the bass player for Gammon. So he's from Austin, Texas. He's a really talented cat named Joseph Salazar, and he plays synths and keys and stuff like that. So he handles a lot of the pads, layers, and stuff. We'll be doing that live.
Yeah, nice.
And he's a great guy, man. Super talented. He was there in the studio when we were recording. When I was there doing the mastering with Sean, but with Silhouette, it was just different, man. Like our fourth show, we were already headlining in a town like Dallas. When I was in Austin, you couldn't touch Dallas. You know what I mean? Like they were like, how many people do you bring to your shows? Yada yada yada. This and that. Like we played all over for that. So to have
Man,
that kind of, it was a trip, man. And then meeting Alex, and then meeting you, and tell us a little bit about your era with Silhouette and your experiences with that.
They I wish I could tell you. I think that they went through two drummers before I decided to audition. I don't remember who came first, Josh or Sheldon, or I don't know if you remember either.
Josh was the original drummer, and then Sheldon played for a little bit. Yeah.
Shout out to both of those guys.
Hell
Love
yeah.
them. If it wasn't for them, I would have never joined, honestly. Like, but shout out to those guys, man. I remember I met Josh. Like I remember I think I was okay, hold on. My first Silhouette interaction was Alex would invite me to your guys' shows, and y'all would have wild after parties. Wild. I'm sure I don't have to tell you about that, man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I made it to a couple shows, man, and I did make it to a couple after parties with you guys, and I believe at that point maybe Josh was the drummer. But I was nowhere near confident in my drumming ability to even think about like, hey, that could be me one day, or anything like that, man. I was just Alex's friend. And he was like, hey man, I'm in a band with Dirk, and we both thought Dirk was a badass because he taught us both, and so I was just happy to be there.
Sure, man.
And then it took me so long that they went past Josh to another drummer, Sheldon. And then I think Sheldon actually had a decent tenure with them, like he wasn't just there for like a month as filler. He was there for a while,
No, he was there for a bit. Sheldon was actually a drummer I played with off and on over the years. I met him when I was like 19, 20.
Yeah.
And always kind of dug him. Yeah.
it was even whenever those guys were in that Alex was like, hey, you should come see what's up. And I just again, man, I just never thought that I was good enough, really. And I was like, well, you
Crazy.
you
I
have
wish
a
I would have had the opportunity to jam with you in
and,
Silhouette, man, because yeah,
and so
you hit the ground running.
one day I went to the Avalon studio that they had booked a room at, right? And I hate I hate to put it so black and white, but I went and rehearsed with them on Sheldon's drum set, and like 2 weeks later, I was moving my drum set in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I hate to just paint it like that. Like it wasn't quite that. There was a lot of
Other
conversation
factors, yeah,
and a lot of
places,
stuff, but
and him
but
in his life
essentially
and stuff.
but I think that I think that Sheldon, I don't want to speak for him. I never really talked to him or met him, but I think that he was coming to a point to where he was maybe trying to part ways anyway. And I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know. I really don't.
yeah, yeah.
So
He was
I
definitely
yeah,
him.
I definitely didn't shove anyone out. They were just like,
No,
hey,
like
yeah,
that.
he's getting ready to go, and we need another drummer, and we think you're good. You should come audition, and that's basically how it happened. So he was kind of on his way out anyway,
Yeah,
um, amicably, and
yeah. Of
then
course, that's the
and
little
then
boy.
yeah, and then they just knew me and decided. And then I just came and auditioned, and then they were like, "Yep, that'll work."
Hell yeah, hell
And
yeah. Like,
so Tomcats, I'm sure you know Tomcats, man. Tomcats became
oh yeah,
our gig home. Um,
yep.
I have to say, thanks to Silhouette, I've played all over Deep Ellum, Boiler Room, Trees. Some places aren't even there. We played Wits End, which is in Deep Ellum still. And but anyway, all the and it's like you said, man. Some people don't even think they can even touch Dallas sometimes, and uh,
Fact.
I just couldn't believe that I got in all these venues. Curtain Club. There's another one, Curtain Club. But
Hell yeah.
just all these places that I got in with them. Just playing, man, just playing drums. I never would have thought.
No, it's beautiful. I remember the first time I heard the lineup with you and Brian, who had taken my place, as I'd gone on to do some other stuff, and I mean, I love those guys. We had a wild ass 3 years, man. It was a fucking ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
It absolutely was
Alex
fucking.
was my good friend through it all. So I heard a lot about the antics and the shows, and
Yeah,
of course, he was like, dude, you got to come out to a show, man. And so it
it
was
was.
legendary. It was legendary to hear about. That's for sure, man. I think that when I joined, it was a little bit past the partying prime. Not that I'm saying we didn't get down, because we did, but
Yeah,
it had calmed down a little bit, which
that's
is
because
fine.
I
I'm not saying I'll drink to that, man. Fuck.
think of that. Hell yeah. No, no, you
But
guys,
yeah,
but y'all were a fantastic fucking band, man. Like I remember hearing y'all's first set, and I was like, "Damn, that is awesome!" And the 9 Pound EP, just beautiful, beautiful. And your drumming, man, that was just jumped out of me right away. I was like, "Motherfucker, I wish that this guy
yeah.
I was in the band."
I
But
always I know. So that was my first and only time ever recording in a studio, was whenever I was with Silhouette for 9 Pound EP. And I know we're not like in California or some other music capital where studio,
in Dallas,
where
Texas, man,
where
fucking
it's like
hey, almost
it's like a big
Pantera.
prestigious thing to be in, in like a major recording studio. We Dirk and Brian found these dudes out in Hazlitt who wrote who they ran like a really decent recording studio, so the experience was a lot more laid back than I expected it to be. Um and I don't know, man, I just never, to me, I always built the recording experience up in my head to be this big, like, glorious, prestigious event. And I'm not saying it wasn't, but
Sure.
essentially it was just me in the room with my homies. Like, they were just sitting there listening to me. And
Hell
every
yeah.
time I would nail like a drum lick, they're like, fuck yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
so I don't know. It was
So
like
many people have that. Yeah, that
it was,
perception. When I was working
it
in the
was a
studio,
really
like
good, it was a really good experience, like a positive experience. And I just felt very supported,
right
just
on.
recording that shit. And it took the pressure off a lot, honestly. One of the songs, I will admit, I recorded in one take, and I didn't know that was a big deal. And the only reason why I recorded it in one take was because I was too scared to go, because again, it was my first time in a studio. So
Yeah,
it was, I was too scared to go back and be like, hey, I think I fubbed this part a little bit. Maybe, so I was just like,
yeah.
oh, we're good. And so, and we just sent it, dude. Like,
Hell yeah.
so we just sent that
I'd have
shit.
never guessed that, bro.
So
I mean, everything's fucking flawless on that record, man.
and then they were like,
That's
hell
up
yeah, man,
top.
you did that shit in one take. And I was like, well, it was good enough. So why fuck with it? I don't know, man. So I was so intimidated by that being in the studio, but at the same time, just being with those guys and it just made it a little more easier than I thought it was gonna be, basically.
I love that, man. I love it. They're a great group of guys, man. They're still Dirk and Steven. They're still best friends of mine to this day. You know what I mean?
Oh hell
I love
yeah.
it. I'm very grateful to Dirk for being a part of this. He's in a band called Intercore. Shout out to Mikey and
Shout out to
Ray.
them.
Hell yeah, man. Ray's having some surgery and recovering from it, but Ray's also a great drummer. He lent his kit in the studio at their Session Works when we were doing the song excuse me. I'm having a drawing a blank now. But anyway, one of the fucking songs on this record that
You're
I
good,
wrote.
dude. You know
So,
what?
we have had
I'm
too
gonna
many
I'm
beers.
gonna I'm gonna tell a quick story about Ray. So
All right.
anyone who's gonna see this, most, or if they know Dirk, or even if they know me because of how I was with Silhouette, they most likely know Ray, Raymond Chambers.
Sure.
Everyone remember that name.
Hell yeah.
So Ray, I remember we played a show with I believe he was still in Awaken Theory. It was still Awaken Theory then.
Another great band.
So Silhouette played a show with Awaken Theory, and I don't know if anyone who's gonna see this has seen Ray's drum set because he posts pictures of him, but that dude's got a monster drum set, and he uses it to its fullest ability. Ray is a
Oh yeah.
beast, and
We
I'll
have a
never
video
forget.
of me
Yeah, dude,
recording.
I'll never forget. I don't know what song it was that we played, but Ray told me, he was like, "Man, you inspired me to write another song because of how much double bass you used." And I don't remember
Come
what
on.
song we were playing, but he told me that, and he was like, "Man, you made me want to write another song with more double bass because of that." And then I remember like this next show we played with him, he was like, "Hell yeah, man, that shit was because of you." And I'll never forget that because Ray's a beast, dude, and Ray's
Oh, that's hell of a
amazing.
compliment.
And
Hell yeah.
I never thought that I would, I'd get behind a kid and make someone want to write a song or like a better song or
Yeah.
whatever his angle was. I never thought that I'd be the one that would make someone that wanted to want to do that. So shout out to Ray for that. That still
Fuck
sticks
man.
with me to this day, and it will stick with me forever because Ray,
No,
you're
I
badass. You
get
always will be
that.
badass. So
That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, man. Ray and you are arguably the best drummers that I have fucking heard. Like in this town, and I've been blessed in all this time, starting out at 19. And to now, it's been a journey, and I've played with a lot of really great musicians, man. And I've been blessed to be surrounded by and have a lot of love and do that. And you two guys are the best two drummers that I have ever fucking played with. Jam with, known personally. Like y'all are phenomenal, and I don't mean to make you uncomfortable or anything,
no,
but
no.
honestly, like
And with
it's a fact.
me,
You know what I mean?
if
So
it,
that's
if this was like a year ago, I would tell you like fuck off, like shut up,
I
seriously.
love that though. Still
I've
humble, but
always,
you
I don't
own
know,
it. Yeah,
dude. And like, I'm not right now. I'm not gonna be like, I know, yeah, like, no, but, I just want to tell you that that means a lot to me, man. Like, it really does because the way, the high regard in which I hold Ray and Dirk and you, and like, because I wouldn't have joined Silhouette, if it wasn't, Silhouette wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for you and Dirk. You know what I'm saying? So like, there wouldn't have ever been a band for me to join if it wasn't for you. So whether you know it or not, I owe my tenure in Silhouette to you because you started that shit with Dirk, and then Dirk knew
brother.
me, and then it led to me joining the. So and, there's a lot of steps, but still. So you, Dirk, Alex, and like even Brian, man, like Brian was like a snare captain in fucking high school. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
Like, and then to
he's
have
a
these
talented
dudes,
cat. Yeah,
and then Ray, and then whenever Ray comes out and he's got like his whole professional drum set with like, I don't know, man. I just never thought that. I just never thought I'd be on this level to where these, even you. or Dirk or anyone's like, you know what, man, you're one of the best fucking drummers ever. Because you know 10 other drummers in your life, I'm sure. Like, you know, probably
Oh yeah,
10, 20 other
but
people, drummers, you know. So
yeah, yeah.
to me, man, and I'm not gonna tell you, you know, but I'm just gonna say I appreciate it and it means a lot to me.
Hell yeah, man. Well, it's a fact, and I appreciate you. I thank you for that, and for also just wanting to be a part of this, man. I was blessed when I started making calls and when I knew the record was coming out, and like we're gonna take this thing to the stage, you know, and then we're gonna put a band together, and then hopefully we stay this band and move on as a band to the next album. Do that, you know what I mean? But this is the opportunity to play our debut. And you guys will obviously all put your own touches on some things, you know what I mean? Like that's gonna another cool thing is that live, I don't want to perform it exactly like the record. You know what I mean? Like everybody's gonna bring their style. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna play
Yeah, I
those
get that for
songs.
sure.
You know, we're gonna play those songs, man. But live, and that's gonna be the appeal to, you know, if anybody gets a chance, they've heard the record, they want to come see us live. You will hear a different version of the song, slightly whatever it is, because of these badass motherfuckers that I was lucky enough to get to be a part of
I
this
think that
thing. And
that is one thing I'm looking forward to. Not only with the audience, but with you and like Dirk, and you know, whenever we come together and like for a rehearsal, and I don't know, man, and whenever you guys just hear like the drumming and shit, and I at least want I want y'all to go hell yeah, like one time, you know what I'm saying?
oh yeah,
Like if
oh
I
yeah,
can get that out of y'all, then I'm good. So
hell yeah. Well, I have a lot of footage. So we had started in 2020. You know, the record was done at the end of 2022. I was there for 2023, and we had started out some rehearsals. So we have a lot of footage from EMP where we had started kind of writing some different stuff. You know, working on some new material. And
oh, for sure.
I've got that. I've got you and I jamming on the bass. I've got you a lot of footage of you that already demonstrates that I want to. There's something on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but I with you and Dirk at the EMP, or it was actually at Avalon. But it's a great clip of y'all guys jamming out. Y'all were playing Teething, I want to believe. It was actually by Silhouette. And it's a badass demonstration of Chris drumming in person. Like it's already out on YouTube. Like so
I
check
don't
that
think
shit
I've
out if you're
seen that.
short.
I would like to see that. If it's on YouTube, then that would be awesome to see for sure.
Yeah, it's on our YouTube channel. We have our distribution came through gangbusters, man. So we are pretty much wherever this record is, pretty much wherever music is sold or streamed. I mean, Pandora, YouTube, Tidal, Deezer, fucking Amazon Music, Apple, Spotify, which we actually got picked up on a playlist. A couple of them, we've got a couple playlists
Oh, fuck yeah.
which is awesome. If anybody knows anything about, you know, that aspect with digital music nowadays, that's a big deal. So we you know, so things like that, the momentum and the reaction for a record that kind of just dropped, hadn't really been promoted quite yet. It's just starting to catch a little bit of steam. The initial push has been really encouraging, which is why you know, that's why I wanted to kind of see how it was going to play out and go from there. And then I knew like shit, well, we need to put something behind this and go and bring it to the stage now. So but with that, I have tons and tons of footage from just those rehearsals of us starting to write new material and come up with some stuff. So
Oh,
we'll
hell
be able
yeah.
to do some of that in the interim, you know, until we get in the room again together and start working on this stuff. But yeah. Uh,
I'm with
so
it, man. I'm excited. Like I I plan for the future, like, you know, I want to record, like I have a GoPro and I want to bring the GoPro to like all our rehearsals and stuff. But aside from that, you know, up until now, I think that we both, you know, we got some pretty good early on footage, and I don't know, man, that makes me excited to hear that you have that shit because I want to watch it honestly, and
oh
I
yeah,
just
that's there. Yeah.
I want to see where we were at, and I want to see, you know, kind of where we're going, and it's just really exciting to see all that stuff, even that little reel that you posted on Facebook that you tagged me in, man. And even then, like I think I've had that shit on repeat. Like I like nothing, you know, I don't know. It's cool to just see us in that room, dude, just fucking off. And that shit just it came together. You know,
No, man, just
it's just
like
gonna
that.
be exciting. Everyone
And,
out there, this shit, the subtle madness.
hell yeah. Cheers to that, man.
Remember that shit. He said it all. Apple T or fucking Apple TV, god damn it. Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, LimeWire, Napster.
Fucking Napster, man. We're gonna bring Napster back.
Let's pause for 1 second, bro. Let me be right back.
All right, go ahead, big dog. Hey, brother. All right,
Yo,
so we're back. We're back. Okay, so I want to thank you, man. Definitely. I know it's been I said 20 minutes, but just it's been a
oh,
blast, and I want to keep it going, as long as you're feeling like jamming on it.
well,
So we'll grab like
if there's anything else, dude, if there's anything else you wanted to touch on, I'm not
oh yeah,
rushing off or nothing.
you got time, man. I actually do. So one thing I want to kind of let me I say this. Let me hand it over to you. Let me just I mean the biggest point of this is really introducing everybody to the members of the band. You were giving us our first interview, which is awesome, and I mean I'm looking forward to this, man, since we talked about it. So but yeah, take a pool.
Oh yeah.
Let me turn it over to you. Is there anything that you want to share or discuss? Anything that kind of of value on your end?
Um, man, I'm not. I probably sound like a fanboy more than anything. I'm happy to get behind the kid again. For people that want me there. More importantly, I mean, I know at the end of the day, like I know we're gonna try to put on the best show we can, no matter what.
Hell yeah,
But if something, if circumstances should befall us, God forbid, I know at the end of the day we're gonna have a good time doing what we're doing, no matter what. You know,
absolutely. That's the point, man.
and
That's
and that's truly like what I'm looking forward to the most. If I'm being honest, I just like you said, you were jealous of joining, or a little bit of the Silhouette lineup after you left. Like I was jealous of the Silhouette lineup before I joined. Like I feel like you guys were truly in like your prime there, man, and your vocals and everything was so good. And um, I just I never thought that we'd share the stage together in this way. And to be honest with you, I never thought I'd share the stage with Dirk again. Um, and so I'm really just looking forward to that.
yeah,
I
man.
love,
No,
I don't know. I don't have much to me. I mean, I'm a Hispanic dude with kids and a wife. And so anytime I can get away for some beers and rock music, then it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? So
rock
that's
on,
really about
man.
it. I don't know.
I
I don't
dig
want
it,
to break
brother.
it down to just that, but I mean, I don't know. I know we're gonna have a good time, dude, and that's really what I'm all about. If I can get a couple people's chest pumping with my drums, and I'm cool with that, honestly.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Well,
and
feeling, man.
it just means a lot to me that you guys want me there with y'all, because um I've I've supported, I mean, you always want to support your friends and see them on stage when they do this, or if they open a shop, you want to buy from them, or if they sell something, you want to support them, and so if for some reason I wasn't involved in this project, I'd still be there up front jamming with you guys and this and that, and but it means even more to me that you guys wanted me there to drum for you, and it's fucking crazy
Oh,
because like you said, man, you're like a Trent Reznor one man band type of thing. You don't necessarily need a drummer. You could you could continue how you have been, and it means a lot to me that you want to that not only do you want a drummer, that you want me specifically. So I don't really have
hell
much other
yeah.
to say about myself
No,
other than that. I'm a dude with a family who loves drumming and having some beers. I don't
hell
know,
yeah.
man.
No, brother. You know what? I mean, honestly, I started to touch upon that earlier, but it really was, I was lucky enough to get. I had a list of people that I wanted to fill this thing out. Once I knew that the record had started to catch a little momentum and that it was something that we could take the stage and do some stuff with. I had like my first pick, basically a second choice, like whatever, so I could make sure just to fill this out and get to work. And I was blessed enough to have my first pick across the board. You were the first drummer that I wanted. You were, Joseph was the first synth guy to use that I wanted. Dirk, obviously on guitar. Um,
Yeah.
Another cat is his name is Mike Paulhamus. He's our bass. Shout out to Mike. He is actually from the Pennsylvania area. I met him when I was up there working, and
Oh, nice.
and he was a session musician for 10 years in New York City for Arista. Like a lot of the earlier 2000s hard rock, played on a ton of those fucking records. And Mike, in the same vein like you, is one of the best, if not the best bassist that I've ever played with or known in person. He helped us write a lot of the earlier tracks. You know, we're doing some stuff with named Andonia and me. Like it was like a project that I was doing with a chick named Lauren Reagan, and she's also, you can hear some of her backing vocals on Stalemate, and Seraph. Seraph's the one that we have the video up for, and
Yeah.
But we played with him, and Mike just instantly, like, he and I hit it off, and he dug my songwriting, and he got me started on the recording engineering aspect of it. Like, really, he'd worked in the studio for so damn long, he picked up so much, you know what I mean? Like, and
Honestly,
so
your you have a very good singing voice. I don't, I mean, I'm sure obviously you know that because you've continued to sing this whole time, you know what I'm saying? But dude, something about the way that your vocals fit with like that rock music and shit, dude. So Teething was my favorite Silhouette song. And then I thought, and then there was another song, I don't remember the name of it. Scar Engraved.
right on. Yeah.
I tried to fight to get Scar Engraved on the set list because I fucking love that song so much.
Hell yeah.
Just like, I don't know, dude, just like that like thumping beat. And then I don't know, dude, like I fought so hard. So why let you? I don't know, dude. That shit was so
Hell yeah.
good. And I was,
Thank
oh,
you, man.
dude. And so I fought so hard to get Scar Engraved on the set list, man. I learned it and everything, dude. And so that shit is, I don't know, man. It's so
No, I
fucking
love that. We
good.
were jamming that.
Yeah, man. So I hope you know it's not us, man. It's you for a lot of the part, man. Like I wouldn't want to play drums, you know, because I hear songs. Everyone hears songs on the radio. Yeah, you like them, but you don't want to play music to it. You don't want to play drums to it. You don't want to sing to it. You don't want to play guitar to it. But something about that Silhouette music, man. I was like, dude, I can jam to this. I want to throw some drums down on this shit. You know what I'm saying? And just like these songs, dude, they're badass, man.
I appreciate that. You know, a funny story, man. Like, Sonic came so easily, and it's like you lost video there. You good?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on 1 second.
No worries.
Oh fuck. My bad. My bad.
No worries.
Okay. Sorry.
Sonic came so easily. Like I was saying, you know, like from our very first rehearsal, we had Son of the Dirt King. Like I went home and wrote the lyrics that night. They'd already Dirking them, and I already had it hashed out. But then after that, I was like, you know, they were showing me bands like Bullet for My Valentine and stuff. You know, like they were a couple years younger than me, and I had a moment of kind of, I remember it distinctly. I was like, how should I write to this? You know, like instead of just, usually I've written and reacted. Music has been very organic to me, and I think it was just one of those things like we all can have. You know, as artists, we can have a moment of, you know, like they're playing these kind of bands that say they influence them, and instead of doing what you do, you start thinking, well, what are they looking for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know
And,
what? If I can just cut in for, like, I think that that's one of the reasons why I like playing with like you and Dirk and Alex is because there's not really an expectation in terms of like play to this. Like here's this song, and you have to know it. You have to play to this right now. You know, it's just that
yeah.
freedom of playing something and feeling it out and seeing which direction it goes. You know, and then I don't know, man. And so,
So why would you
um,
inhibit that? You know, like, yeah.
like I'm not. I don't want to take the conversation away from you, but like, but me, like,
No,
I've only ever been a drummer. I don't know how to play bass. I don't know how to play guitar. I don't. I only the only reason why I know how to play keyboard in at all is because I played marimba and xylophone in high school. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't that does not translate to someone playing like a synth or a piano on stage
yeah.
at all. So I'm not even going to try to say. So at the end of the day, the only thing I am is a drummer. I can only come up with drum beats, or you know, that's all I can do. I can't come up. I wish I could. I could come up with melodies. I wish I could come up with lyrics and all this stuff, but I can't. I'm just a drummer. But I don't know. It just fuck, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot my point.
We
Just,
were talking
dude,
about
I'm just,
like, having that
you know,
moment
I
of
mean,
writing.
I want to be like someone else, someone who can hear the music from all those angles and help develop it and this and that. But I don't know. I just feel like at the end of the day, I'm just, I mean, hey, if you need a fat ass drum beat, I got you. But I can't help you come up with lyrics. And I remember Dirk told me one of his favorite songs in terms of drumming is an Anthrax song, "No One Knows,"
Hell
because of
yeah.
and I don't know this, but Dirk told me that the drummer came into the studio and was like, "Hey, I have this drum beat that I want y'all to learn around," and then he started playing So anyway, I just one of these days I know I want to come up with like a drum beat that's like 2.5, 3 minutes long, and then it'd be like, hey, y'all just go off of that.
Oh
Um,
fuck yeah.
but
Fuck yeah.
and so, but I
That's
I
a
wish
beautiful
I
thing.
could write more melodies and stuff, but the most I can do is just come up with beats and just have y'all play along to it and this and but at the same time, that's like the beauty of us being together because I know that there's no pressure for that and for me going beyond that. Like we
Of
can,
course.
at any point we'd be able to get together and drum or strum and just feel that shit out. And wherever it goes, that's where it goes. So
And I love that. Like you don't. I've always been open to that because you don't want to inhibit what somebody brings. If you want the songs to really have the energy, and you want everybody to have a little piece of them, which is why even though some of these were written, when we perform it live, it's going to be slightly different. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to have their style and their take on it. Because
yeah.
you want everybody to have a little piece of that. You want everybody to bring what they bring, and we
And
all have a sound. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if you remember like the times that we jammed together whenever you were playing the bass, but I would always kind of be like, hey, just play something and I'll fucking drum to you. You
oh
know what I
shit,
mean? Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
that's just kind of how I was. Like, hey, I can almost follow whatever you're putting down. Just like, hey, like so lay that foundation down and I'm in, And I'm gonna just tell a quick story.
Go ahead.
Whenever I was in a band with Alex and we played at a place called the Grotto in Fort Worth, which is no longer there. We
Shit.
they were having they had a show one night that they booked and the bands were they had a lineup that was officially booked and people were there, but Alex requested if we could play on the patio just as like filler music, you know what I mean, just to be there. So one of the musicians who was going to play that night, and he's a pretty prominent guy in Fort Worth, his name's Chris Luther. He jammed with me on the patio, and then we just had one of those jam sessions
Fuck
where he
yeah.
just played guitar and I just played drums, and then the music just went wherever it went. And we jammed for like 5 minutes, dude. And that was like one of my most prominent and earliest memories of like the music just taking us wherever it went because I had
Flowing.
never played music with him before. And I had only ever heard of his bands and his ability. And I knew people knew him and recognized him as a Fort Worth musician.
Yeah.
So I never thought I was like, hey, dude, this guy's playing guitar with me right now. So I'm gonna just fucking ham it up and drum like. And so we just
Hell
jammed for like 5 minutes, dude. And I don't know. I love those improv jam sessions and where that
yeah.
fucking leads you. And again, I feel like being with you guys and it just takes that pressure off. And I know that like this music is going to be great and it's going to take us where it takes us. Like, I don't know, it's going
Absolutely.
to be badass.
And in between, man, something I always loved about bands like Zeppelin and Pink
I think
Floyd
I
and shit
forgot the
like
question. I think I just took the conversation from you again and started talking about bullshit.
no,
Which
not
again,
bullshit. This is
hey,
great, brother. Don't
I'm
worry about
telling
it.
you,
This
you
is
can
what
tell
we're
me
here
to
for.
suck dicks if I ever start talking too much. I'm
No,
telling
don't
you,
worry.
man. I'm just
They've
talking
already met
bullshit.
my punk ass. They're here to meet your fucking ass, so it's all good, brother. But the point being is I mean, like bands like Zeppelin and bands like Pink Floyd, things like that. Like even song to song, what one thing I'd like to realize at rehearsal and do is flowing. Like, so there's gonna be a lot of chance to write interludes as we even go, like from song to song. Like we have a little jam out like thing where we can freestyle it, and then we go into the next song. Like we know that we're gonna be in the key of A here or whatever, and we're gonna have this tempo. So we ended up catching it there, in between, and that's
I
beautiful
think that
because
a good I think that a good interlude doesn't get enough credit. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if we can just flow and write some decent ass interludes, some people might be like, you know what? We want to hear those riffs again, or we want to hear that melody again. I don't know, man. Just
right,
interludes are the
for
unsung
sure.
heroes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I put a ton of them on the record, man. And it's conceptual in a sense, man. And I've been telling everybody, I was like, if you really want to hear it, if you really, really want to hear it, get stoned, put on some headphones, give yourself an hour, close your eyes, and just fucking go
Yeah, I'm with
somewhere,
it.
man. It's filled with interludes, you know what I mean? And those are the ones that we not won't necessarily create live where we'll make our own as a band, but the aspect of just trying to um you know what I mean, like flow from song to song. Like that's what I want to incorporate and what I think we'll do beautifully. Like instead of just having dead space and be like, here's our next track, blah blah blah, show me
No,
some
for sure.
tits.
And
You know what I mean? Like fucking
I got hey,
don't
no.
roll it out.
Well, you know what? I have to take a brief moment. I don't want to take this conversation away from you or the subtle madness or anything, but I just giving influence and respect to people who influence me. I have to say Alex is one of the people, like, because the way he writes his music and the way it flows together, that's how I learned, like, like that interlude drumming going from one song to another almost immediately. You know,
Yeah.
he he's a big reason why I'm able to do that. Just to let the music flow together. Like basically, if you wanted to play an album from beginning to end, he's a big reason why I'm able to do that because of the way his music was written. And when I learned it, and whenever I was performing it with him, and then just how it all flows together. So I think interludes are a very unsung hero for that reason
Oh,
because I and just it helped me learn how to just make everything that you're performing cohesive, flow
hell yeah.
together, and so
Good point. Beautiful point, brother. And I'm glad. And that's one thing that I think we'll do really well. I think that we will definitely do. I mean, there's
oh
footage.
fuck yeah.
I've got some footage when they were recording the rehearsals of you and I when I stole Steven's bass and started, fucking the shit out of it. You and I were jamming. You're like, come on, Matt, let's do it like we do it in the dry.
Hey, I want to warn everybody whenever we play our first live show, wear your extra tight panties and your extra tight underwear because them bitches are gonna get hard and moist and they're gonna fall off. So
Boys, gotta love it. I love that word. Fucking A, man. And I'm gonna warn everybody that Dirk will probably not bring his best guitars because he already knows what's gonna happen to him if I'm around. That part.
we're gonna do drugs off of them.
Am
I'm just kidding.
I kidding? No. No, you know what, man? Having fun too. You mentioned that earlier too, like having fun. The brotherhood of being in a band with your boys. That what Silhouette was a band of brothers. It's the same thing here, man. Like we've all known each other. We now for a few years, like various times. You guys were caught by Dirk. I tried to get Alex's ass to be a part of it, but he's got a lot going on right now. You know what I mean? Like, but I would,
Yeah.
I love my tenure with Alex. I love that time. Like he was 18 years old, and I remember Josh looking at us and looking at all of us and just going, "We're gonna fucking kill that kid." Like, or we're gonna ruin it. We're gonna turn him out, basically. You know what I mean? Like, but Alex just turned out to be one of the wildest ones of the bunch. He fit right in. He hit the ground running, man. Like,
I remember I remember Alex telling me that shit too, man.
yeah.
And there's plenty of social, or I don't know if they're still around, maybe they are, but plenty of social media photos of Alex with the black X's on his hands because he wasn't old enough to
He was
drink.
like 18, man. No shit.
And so
Here's
all
a
these
faceplate,
silhouette photos, and
Yeah.
he's got black X's on his hands, like
Hell yeah.
everyone, but at the same time, he still has a beer in his hand. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
those
yeah,
photos,
yeah.
he's
No,
got
that's
the
what's
X's
great.
on his hands, but he still has like a Dos Equis in his hand, and you're like, what the fuck?
That
Like
fucking
that
Bud
shouldn't
Light
happen.
Platinum he was drinking, like
That to me speaks to the camaraderie and like the brotherhood of what you guys were, honestly. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't know, man.
it was a great time, man. Such a great time, man. And that's what I loved. Everybody's asked me about music. I mean, music is a part of you. If you really want to do this, you want to grind it out, if you want to play the club sets, if you want to write and get in there and put your soul out in front of people, you know what I mean? You know that being a drummer, like
You know
saying
what?
like knowing that you're good enough, like, but that whole thing, like you have to really fucking love this shit, but
I'm
besides
gonna
that,
give
the brotherhood.
I want to give a quick shout out. I don't know if this is gonna make the content that you post or this, but So one of the genres that I played as a drummer that I actually fell in love with is like cafe lounge music. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
There's a gentleman that I used to work with. His name is Bill Cook. Everyone remember that name, Bill Cook. Anyway, he was like you, man. He was a one man band. He wrote his music and he recorded it all himself. But when it came to bringing it to the stage, he recruited live members.
Hell
And
yeah.
I worked with him and I told him I was a drummer. And it was very, very simple, laid back, like lounge music, like just like casual playing on the rim and like very soft drumming.
Right on.
But me being a metal drummer, like Silhouette, double bass, in your face, fucking drum fills,
Rock fucking
that
roll.
actually like that humbled me and helped me realize that it's about like what you play and what you contribute
The
and not
song.
necessarily being like the badass. And
The song.
so
Yeah, yeah.
Bill Bill made such like comfortable music to play and it was so fun and it was inviting for everyone. So shout out to Bill. But that music was so simple but beautiful and it like it really did evolve like my drumming style, like learning how to like tone it down and just play what the music needs, not what you think it needs, but
Great
just
point.
what it needs.
Yeah, great point.
um
Song,
so
man.
that was really fun playing for him. I never thought that, and I don't want to, now that I've praised him enough, I don't want to cut him down by saying elevator music. But if you can think about playing elevator music, you know what I mean? That's essentially kind of what,
Lounge.
just like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just that simplicity, something
Yeah.
easy listening, and it
But
wasn't about filling the crowd. It wasn't about filling the crowd or having heads banging or anything like that, man. It was just about the simple enjoyment of having that music there in your head in the background. And I don't know, man. That was a lot of fun being able to take a break from like fast drumming or like rock drumming or just I don't know, man. And it was that I have to shout out Bill because drumming for him in that setting helped me learn a lot about drumming in general and like
I
just
can
how to adhere to the music and what the music actually needs. And it was just such a different dynamic, from the curtain. You go from playing the curtain club to like a coffee shop, you know what I'm saying? And
hell
it's
yeah.
just so different. But at the same time, like the crowds are just as into it. Like they just want to they want to be involved and they want to hear the music just as much. Like, yeah, sure, they're not moshing or headbanging or whatever, but they're
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 very much
there. Yeah, and then they're present just as much as those guys are, man. And so it,
fuck.
it really helped me see that side of it. And I actually
What a
really,
cool
really
experience.
like that a lot. And I still to this day, Bill, if you're watching, book a show and I'll drum for you. But I
Hell
still
yeah.
encourage him to I
Hell
still
yeah.
encourage him to this day, man. Like he needs to, but I
I
guess my
love
point
that.
with that is
No,
just like a different musician and a different artist, like just a different type of genre that I was luckily introduced to. But it was another person who at the same time saw me and was like, you know what, you can drum for me. Like he saw my ability and just I don't know, man. It was a lot of fun.
no, that's very cool, man. Thank you for sharing that, brother. I dig that, and those kind of things, like you said, like learning to play for the song, we grow from all these experiences. I like the very first band I was in was a metal band, and it was called Black Oxygen, and and we had like an indie label kind of thing, artist development, and I went from there to moving to Austin and playing with Joseph, who, like I said again, is our synth guy in this lineup, and and then just the opposite end of it, almost like a perfect circle, really melodic, really beautiful, um like soundscapes, like very like I would scream. I started to learn to use my screams for effect. I went from screaming and barely being able to sing at that time to learning and finding my voice and using screams for moments. You know what I mean? And that's carried me a long way
I
in
will
that.
say, I know I keep interrupting you and I'm sorry.
No, brother,
Forgive
that's
me.
what we're here for.
But dude, the way that you incorporate like even in those songs where you think and I don't mean this, I mean this, okay, in those songs that you're not expecting a scream, like those Silhouette songs. I hope you know that I still own a physical copy of Matchbook Manifesto. I hope
Right
you know
on.
that. And so
Right on.
there's those songs where your vocals and then you just throw in that scream and then you're just like fuck, like that's exactly what it needs, dude. Like I don't even know, man. Like
Fucking
dude, you
effect.
just
Yeah.
know
Thank you,
your
brother.
your range and your ability to immediately switch from like that vocal style to the screams is incredible, man. Okay, I'm sorry, continue. I didn't mean, I just wanted everyone to know that this guy.
No, thank you, man. No, thank you, brother. But that's it. I mean, that was where I learned it. Like it's much like you're talking about with lounge music. That learning to use it sparingly, like how you use a drummer. I'm sure learn to use certain techniques and things like that. You probably picked up new techniques because it was a different genre. But in the same regard, you learned to use what you brought in a different light, and that influenced you moving forward. Would you say so?
Absolutely, man. And I think that since you said that, that probably is how my drumming is. You know, you're I just bring my attributes to the light in different ways. You know.
Hell yeah. I've seen that firsthand, man. I really have, and I love the feet. I love the footwork. I love, like, I've always had a
I'm
drummer
gonna
that's
take a.
great. Go ahead.
So since everyone, let me give a quick break so everyone sees what I've been. So this is my electric drum set, right? So Alex recently gifted me this double bass pad. You see that?
Oh shit! Look at that.
Yeah, dude. So this is the first time that I'm gonna have double bass on my fucking electric kit that I've been learning on this whole time. So this whole time I've been doing my shit
Double
with
bass,
this
one
single
foot.
bass pedal.
Yeah.
And so I've been learning to adapt my drumming to just a single bass pedal. And then so recently, since I installed this is gonna get me back up to where I used to be. So this is kind of my rehearsal set. And so I hope it's not too underwhelming for anyone seeing. They're gonna be like, "Oh, this band's
Well,
gonna
you
suck."
know what? Are you able to put the camera up somewhere where you can give them a demonstration of what you do, man?
I could. Well, I have to look up a place for it to be there. Not that it's a problem, you know, but
No, I would love. I think everybody would dig that, man. Fucking, it's
all right, fuck
underwhelming
it.
to you behind it.
Let's see. Let's see. I can't tell. And does that look all right?
Yeah, looks good.
I gotta turn everything on. You hear that?
Try me again.
Turn it up.
A little more, can. For some reason, it's not picking up the audio. I don't know if it's a background thing or what it is.
Tell you what. God damn, I'm sweating. We'll see if we can just do a single hand.
There you go.
I'm just fucking off, dude. This is probably
No,
the
that's
dumbest
beautiful.
shit anyone's ever
I don't
heard.
know what it is. I don't know if it's like overwhelming or something. But look at the footwork. Look at that.
That'd be
That's
stupid,
beautiful.
man. But this is what's carried me this whole time, man. I never thought like an electric drum set because I just, but yeah, man, it's been a
I
lot
love
of fun
that though.
just
I
jamming on
dig that.
that, dude. And just breaking my ability down to like its core, it actually helped me get a lot better.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Like I played with that single pedal probably for over 2 years now. And so now that I have this double bass pad, dude, like I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty fucking gross now that I have a double bass pedal. Like
I can imagine.
I've
Shit, I
I've
remember
just
playing with
I
you like
never I never thought I never thought that I'd come so far just like learning and drumming on like a simple electric kit like that. And learning with one pedal and learning how to adapt and everything. And now that I have the whole kit, dude, like it's gross.
oh yeah. a John Bonham kind of style of footwork, man. Like I remember playing bass with you, and obviously when you're playing bass and rock music, like you want to be with the kick. And so when we were just jamming and going freestyle, you and that one kick, like I was fucking having to do some work, some slapping and stuff, just to keep up with the rhythms and do it. So you were already working that motherfucker, almost very similar to a double bass pedal.
Just trying to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think I said earlier, like that's the thing about my my drumming style is I add double bass when it's unnecessary. Like it's just times where it doesn't need double bass, but I'm like, you know what? You could benefit from a couple kicks there.
You know what we need right here? We need some fucking double bass. And so then we need some more double bass.
But going from my acoustic drum set is like a 6-piece. I think I forget how they classify pieces now. I've got a bass, a snare, two rack toms, and 2 floor toms. So that's a 6-piece, I think, technically. But I mean, with that and double bass and all these cymbals, going from that and buying myself this electric set with one kick pedal and just like the basics, man. I didn't expect it to. I mean, I'd be lying if I say I didn't expect it to, because I tried to learn to get better on my own with the basics, like just because I wanted to see, how, and now that I've come this far, and I don't know, man, and now that I put the double bass on there, I never thought that even myself, like I've never been the type of person to be like, yeah, I'm all right, I'm a pretty good drummer, but even I can tell how far I've come in terms of drumming with how this kid has brought me, man. Like it's been one of the good things to come out of the past few years, this whole whatever bullshit that came about.
No, that's beautiful, man. I dig that a lot, and it's important, like you said. I mean, and I think that I love your story. I mean, everybody that's met you, I mean, like we all love you as a person. Like I think you're really down to earth,
Hell yeah,
very talented.
Let's be real, dude. Who doesn't love a fat, cuddly Mexican who can drink hella beer? You know what I'm saying? I mean, everyone loves that guy. No one's not gonna like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. Hey. And play the shit out of drums, man.
But the fact that I know how to drum just adds to it. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I'm a drummer, that's like the cherry on top. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. No, you know what, man? It's the trajectory. It's really like I wanted to play this instrument, and then this was my worst one, but this is what I really wanted to do, and I stayed with it, and I grew, and I just now recently that people are telling me, rightfully so, that I'm one of the best drummers in the town.
And you know what?
Can you accept that? You know what I mean? But it's the drive. It's the drive and the want.
I'm gonna take a shot before I tell this next story, because I have one more. I have another story to tell about my early drumming years. But
all right, rock and roll. Cheers.
Cheers. So I mentioned that I learned drum set my junior/senior year of high school. And then I'll never forget, there was an upperclassman. It must have been my junior year, because he was an upperclassman. He was a senior. His name is Tyler Cave. Shout out to Tyler. I was playing along to that song Ride by the Vines. And it's very simple, man. I'm sure anyone may have heard that song. But anyway, the practice rooms had like a tiny, tiny little rectangular window to the hallway that you could see out of. And I'll never forget, man, I was jamming along to the Vines to Ride. And then I looked out to that window, and then I just see Tyler Cave just doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that was like the first positive encouragement, reinforcement that I ever saw. Like, I mean, whether or not he was trolling me, maybe he was trolling me. I don't think he was. You know how some people, they're like, oh yeah, you're all right. Maybe, but whether or not he knows it, he gave me a massive amount of encouragement, because that was like one of the first that I remember. That is like one of my first memories of drumming, honestly, was just fucking, that was just like one of the first feelings of I fucking nailed that shit, was whenever Tyler was like, fuck yeah, just like doing that shit in the window, just like to the beat. And I will never forget that shit, man. It's just like one of those, my drumming was so shitty, and I never thought they would make anyone do that, and I never thought it would go anywhere. So again, man, it's one of those early memories where you don't realize until later that it means a lot to you. But dude, I'll never forget that because now I can probably have a few people headbanging, you know what I'm saying? But back then it was just that one motherfucker in the hallway just giving me the horns and just, you know what I'm saying? And that's all
That's
it took,
enough.
man.
Yeah.
It was that one thing that was like, you know what? That's pretty badass. Just keep learning and keep going. And I don't know, man.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that encouraged
Exactly.
me really more than I'm sure he ever expected it to. Um, but I'll never forget that shit either, man. Like I just one of the upperclassmen just giving me the devil horn. Just fuck yeah. I don't know, man. That shit was
Keep rocking.
badass.
Yeah, yeah. Those things keep you inspired, man. That little bit of encouragement along the way. You know what I mean? Like the theme of this record, man, and what I want this band, the kind of thing that sparked it, and it goes hand in hand with that. It really is like we go through doubts. We go through it's human experience, right? We go through lows and valleys and times and hard times, things like that. And you're always faced with choices. You're faced with lay down and let it defeat you, or keep pushing. Keep growing, keep doing these things. And even at the darkest times, where some people unfortunately are, they are defeated by addiction, or they check out, or whatever it may be. Like they, they're. I remember times, heavy times myself, coming along, and then just months later, everything was fucking awesome and life was a lot better. And that still, so its theme truly is keep going, like keep going, keep pushing, keep
Yeah.
exploring those avenues, keep pursuing the things that mean something to you. If you really fucking want something, and you stay with it, and you set your mind on it, you can accomplish anything, man. And you can get through anything. You can anything. And that's one thing that is very
Well,
important to express with this band that I
I'm
want
gonna
to.
tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. First of all, I'm gonna drink to that.
Right on.
The reason being, and I'm not saying that I don't take that to heart because I do, but the reason why that carries a lot of weight with me is because I have kids, and I try to tell them the same thing. Like I want them to be the best they can be, like no matter what. And
Oh
everything
yeah.
everything you just said, I could probably quote that to my kids, and like but I'm not saying I don't apply that to myself, but just being a parent, like you apply it more so to them than yourself. You know what I'm saying? But I just want you to know that those words, yeah, man, like those definitely carry weight, and not only to me, but like that kind of shit is the shit that I say to my kids. Like I
Oh man.
just do it because you love it, do what you want to do because you want to have fun, and
Yes.
I think a lot of it comes from, like, I'll be honest, when I was in middle school and I started out in percussion. So one of the big conflicts I had in middle school when I was in percussion, I was also in athletics, and like athletes and band people, it's just like two different dynamics, like no matter what age, it's just
Sure.
two different dynamics. So I was in athletics in middle school, and I was also in beginner band. I try to like blend both of the friends and lifestyles and the
Yeah.
teachings, and it just, at that age, it just doesn't mesh.
Sure.
And
Sure.
and 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 even
Yeah.
now, man, even in like, and I hate to say how separated people become in like high school and their adult lives and stuff, but I mean, people like what they like, and unfortunately they shun people who don't like what they like. It's just how,
Right.
but whatever the case. But anyway, when I was in middle school, I try to conform to both groups, and I try to, I just try too hard to like fit in and be this person and be this guy and be this friend and or whatever. Say this when you're around these people, or say this when you're around those people, or whatever. But music is like the one thing where like
Like,
you don't have to say anything. You just perform. You just do it.
right.
And then people either feel it or they don't,
Yeah. Well
And
put,
so
man.
with my kids, because I have two kids in band now. My oldest daughter is actually in drumline and percussion, which I'm very happy about. And one of my sons is playing in the low brass euphonium. But I ask him, like, how do you like band? Like, how do you like, I want them to enjoy performing music, not just because they're taught the music. I don't even know if this
Yeah.
makes any sense, because
No, it does.
anyone can sit
Absolutely.
there anyone can sit there and learn the music off the page and read the notes. Like I get it, you know. I mean, there's people that,
Sure.
but I want to make
Doesn't
sure
mean
that they're enjoying it and having fun. And just
right,
like if that's
right.
if that's what you want to do, then do it. But if you don't want to do it, then don't do it anymore. Like I'm not going to be mad at you. Like if you don't want to march, then don't march. Like it's okay. Like just because I like marching band doesn't mean you have to like marching band, you know?
Right.
And
That's
so
support. Yeah.
I I definitely try to apply that to myself, but it means a lot to me because I that's exactly what I tell my kids, you know, and I wish to an extent that I applied it to myself because, you know, I, as adults we get impatient and, you know, and stuck up about certain things. And I know we lose our childhood. I mean, you know, we can't be children forever, but while I can, I just tell them to just enjoy what they enjoy, do what they want to do. And, you know, I have also tried to do that with you guys, you know,
Hell
and
yeah.
just have fucking fun. Like, I mean, if we can just chill and relax and play some music, and even if we're the only ones jamming out to it, like fuck it, you know, at least someone's jamming out to it, you
Beautiful thing.
know.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Each other.
so
Yeah. Beautiful
I don't
thing,
know,
man.
man.
Right.
I
Right.
really I take those words to heart, and then I it's just because it's something that I try to tell my kids, you know, just who fucking
I
cares?
love
Like
that.
it doesn't matter. Like I said, I try to fit in with wrong groups at the wrong time, and I made it seem like band or marching band wasn't cool or music wasn't cool just because of this or that. It was at this point, I'm like, it's stupid. Like if you love music, you love music, you know, fuck it. So
Fuck yeah, man. Hey, fuck yeah.
I
No,
don't know,
and
man. I
I
think that
believe,
having kids has also had a good influence on that, you know,
of
just
course.
because, you know, I want them to like what they like, and if they like performing and they like being out there on stage, then I want them to fucking do that, you know. But I don't know, man. At the same
That's
time, you know, just they're friends, but also me being their dad, like from a musical background like I had, and I didn't want them to feel too pressured to do that shit. But I don't know, man.
that's the right
I'm
work.
enjoying every
Yeah.
bit of it. Being able
Hell
to
yeah.
pass that on, and I think I got away from the conversation there, man. I'm
No, you're
sorry.
good. You're good. You're good, man. I mean, really, that is a conversation. I mean, and the point is very much so that, like, to impress upon, to follow those things that mean something to you in this world. You know what I mean? That make you proud to be human. That make you want to live this life and pursue something with a passion. With a passion, that is the fucking part. The passion for something. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you say you don't know if you practice it yourself, but it is your story that really emulates or embodies that, man. The fact that, like, you wanted to be in percussion, that you wanted this, you didn't feel like you were good enough, it was your this, that, you pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and now you are one of the better fucking drummers around, man, because you just saw
and
that, and it's
to
beautiful.
me,
I
dude,
like
I'm
that's
telling you,
inspiring.
man, that shit is so crazy. Just because you're right, dude, and then you actually just kind of put that into perspective for me because I just never thought that that would be me, you know, and just I guess from like the parental standpoint, you know, you always want your kids to be better than you know. So I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I never thought I'd get to that level, you know, and
Yeah. You damn sure are, brother, and we're very lucky to have you, man, and that's an awesome thing, so. But I mean, that's the journey. The journey is that it is very much just life is beautiful if we let it be beautiful. Life is always going to have challenges. It's going to have obstacles. It's going to have things to overcome. But when we focus on the things that matter, when we really pursue something with a passion, like it makes us happy to be alive, excited to be alive, excited to see this next stage of development. And
absolutely,
like for yourself, just remaining so humble and being so talented, you know what I mean? Like I never felt like you, like in a lot of ways, I never felt like I was naturally talented at anything. Like I came from a musical family, but I worked really hard just out of love for it. Like the thirst for knowledge of music, man. Like I really, really just dug it, man. Like I couldn't sing for shit when we first started. I could scream. That was one thing I could do. You know what I mean? Like, and
oh
just
hell yeah,
to learn the path of vocals, to really take in the knowledge of singing, and the whole thing started because I like to write. I wrote poetry and stuff, so it was a chance to sing my own songs, like my poems. And so to go to that and to fall in love with the process, to fall in love with learning and growing, to actually see the journey as important as like what you think may be something someday, and that growth and all the experiences between. has carried me such a long way, man. Be blessed to be where we are now, and to play with awesome ass musicians like you guys, and to do the things we did with Silhouette, to be here now. Like we have the blessing of being able to rock some big stages, being a fairly new band, even though like we started in 2017, like and we've had a couple lineups. Like this variation in this record, we get to come on and play some stages that bands don't normally get to play when they're first starting out. Because
No, for
we,
sure.
you know what I mean, and that's awesome, man. Because we put in a lot of work and experience in that. So that is the message. That is the goal. And there's always going to be challenges. There are always going to be tough times. Things might seem overwhelming, but what inspires you? What moves you? Where do you want to go? And what makes you proud to be alive, proud to be human, excited? And always know that no matter what you face, there is always another side to that. And usually it's a lot shorter to get the light of the tunnel than you think, man. And I just want inclusion.
Yeah,
I want to make people that might even be going through it at the time or anything to rally around that and to know that and to spread that shit, man. And so that there's always a place, a band, a group of people, man, that know it, love you. We're happy to have you out, fucking hang out and come chill with us, man. Come be a part of this and
Oh,
celebrate
absolutely.
life, in a sense, like.
Hey, give me like 30 seconds, all right?
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm not trying to jump off. Give me 1 second.
All good, all good. What's going on, brother? You there?
Oh yeah, we're good. My
All
bad.
right, cool. Back? No worries, man. No worries.
You got
So,
anything else for me, man?
yeah,
I'm not trying to rush off. I know I get off topic a lot, and I'm just like ranting at this point. So I just
it's
want to make
beautiful.
sure that I know you were like, hey man, where were you born? And then I just started talking about drumming and shit.
What's your favorite band? Well, this one time in band.
Like, what's your favorite band? Well, me and Dirk are really good friends. Like we
Yeah.
So I
Nice.
feel like there's a couple times where I didn't necessarily answer the question. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, the questions are just springboard for conversation, man. The whole point really is to introduce everybody to you guys, man, and to meet the band that I am lucky enough to have around me, and to do this shit, man, together. So like, this is just an opportunity to. All the content right now has just been Matt this, Matt that shit, and I just wanted to bring you guys front forward, man, and introduce the band, man, the
Well,
guys that are gonna make shit happen, and so
well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So I understand that you want to introduce everyone, but at the same time, this man, Mr. Butler, deserves most of the recognition because if it wasn't for him, then these music projects wouldn't come together as they do. You know,
well, thank you.
so
I'm
as
fortunate to be
important
part of it.
as important it is as important it is for to see the faces behind the other instruments. That's the face you got to know right there, Mr. Butler. There,
What's love,
I'm
brother?
just the roadie. I'm just the roadie. I just move the shit onto the stage and I do the sound
Yeah.
checks.
And then all of a sudden just started playing the set and kicking it.
Yeah.
So,
Then whenever the drummer gets stuck in traffic, that's when I fill in.
hell yeah. Oh shit, man. Nah, this has been a great time, dude. Thank you so much for the time, for hanging out,
Yeah.
bro. This shit, it's been awesome just to catch up with you
I'm
more than anything,
I'm happy to be. I'm very, very, very excited and happy to be a part of this. And I hope whenever this interview comes out or whatever parts of this interview come out, I hope everyone is excited to see me behind the kit. I'm gonna fuck
Yeah.
shit up for y'all. I hope y'all know. I'm gonna make some panties and a couple boxer briefs drop. You know what I'm saying? I don't discriminate. So whatever drops, drops. You know what I'm saying?
There's gonna be some shit dropping.
But at the end of the day, man, I'm just happy to be here, and the fact that you want me here, it means a lot to me. And hopefully, the people out there want me there too. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can do.
I think that's definite, man. I think that's definite. Even just some of the
Cheers to
reactions from
y'all.
the videos, hell yeah. For them to see some of the rehearsal videos, some of the reactions to it, man, I've heard a lot of really good things, man. So I know it's gonna be great, brother. I know that. I mean, we know it. We've been in a room together. We know it's gonna be jamming. So, but bringing it to the people and
I'm gonna go through my phone because I still have some of those jam session videos.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go through my phone and I'm like, because I saw the one you posted and I posted one way back when. I'm gonna find one that we didn't post. I'm gonna post a new one hopefully soon.
hell yeah,
Just
please do.
just 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 to have something out there, like, I don't know, man. Just
No, do that,
uh,
brother. Do that. All that promotion, all that stuff is beautiful. That's what
also,
we.
as a reminder to everyone that doesn't know, the band is the Subtle Madness, but when it's just me and Matt, it's the Subtle Sexiness.
Absolutely, exactly. If I pick up a bass and it's just him and I, so sexy. Hell yeah.
But but man, the the way that our relationship is like tied to each other, um, realistically, you wouldn't think that we've only known each other for like as long as we have. You think that we were like old friends. We just
Yeah.
we've been so lucky to be connected through music and the people that we know, that we just click and connect, and then it just seems like that shit just goes way fucking back. You know what I'm saying?
It
And
does, man. I love that.
that
Yeah.
that is very, it's not common, like, I
Oh,
mean, yeah, there's, I mean, yeah, I know there's studio musicians out there. There's studio drummers and studio bassists and guitarists who can play with anyone and everyone,
but they're
but it's
mercenaries.
just
Yeah.
a gig. It's just a gig that you're hired for. But it's different whenever you get with someone and you just fucking click and jam, and
Hell
then
yeah.
the chemistry is just there, man. And
Oh,
then just that music, I don't know, man. It's just it's a whole different level than if you just hired me to be your drummer and be like, hey, I have
absolutely.
these drum parts, and then you have the ability to play them. So here, and it's way different than that, man. And I'm glad that what we're gonna do and what we have is beyond just a songwriter and a drummer relationship. Like
Mercenary
we're,
thing. Yeah, yeah. Hired gun. No, hell no, man. I mean, I
yeah.
love. I mean, it is my respect for what you do, man. From that first moment with Silhouette, the first show I got to see you guys play when the EP came out, like that has carried just and piqued my interest from the jump. Like I said, I was a little jealous, and so I'm excited about this opportunity to jam with you. You know what I mean? On
Oh,
stage,
dude,
I've loved the
it's
jam
gonna be
sessions that we had. The
it's
first
gonna
one that
be
we
so
had,
good.
yeah, when we were in the garage, man, it was like 3 hours. It felt like 15 minutes. It was just so fucking much fun. Just I picked up
Like,
the guitar and played with you. Then I picked up the bass and played with you, and just clicking like that with another musician, and just hitting it off as friends. And that is why one of the most beautiful parts of this is that brotherhood,
and
that
that's
camaraderie, that
and
journey.
that's what I'm saying, man. Like, if you think about it, like that was really like our first and only time hanging out and getting together one on one. And
Yeah,
for us to be on that level and to click like that and just to like get each other without even
yeah,
saying anything, man. I
right.
don't know, man. But to me, that that is like a whole level of like musicianship and like brotherhood. I don't know, man.
Absolutely, I agree
It,
100%, man.
it's not everyone where you can just, I don't know, man. I think I'm just
It's
repeating
a fact.
myself at this point. I think it's
No,
the
no,
alcohol.
it's a
Brought to
fact,
you by
man.
Modelo.
Yeah, hell yeah. Their Coors Light sponsorship. No, it's a fact, brother. Like I said, Dirk was one of the only other ones, and there's like I've had a handful of guys in all the musicians I play with where I've actually had that feeling, but that is what really makes it worth it, man. And so I was excited about you being our first interview to introduce, because I knew this would be great. I knew that we'd chop it up and it would be a fun fucking time, and we'd hang out. You know what I mean? And I love talking to you, brother. So
What else?
thank you.
What else you got for me, dude? I don't have much else. Hey, people out there, you probably don't know who I am. I'm just a random ass Mexican dude with hella kids and a wife, and I know how to play drums good. Like, apparently, these guys think I play drums good enough. So
You'll
Matt
see.
might post this part. Matt might post this part of the interview. Maybe he won't. Maybe he thinks it's too fucked up. But in any case, I'm gonna make you rock your panties on stage next time. I hope you're ready for that shit.
Oh yeah, that's going. That's going. Yeah. Brother, thank you for your time. Thank you so much for tonight. It's been a fucking blast, man. I've enjoyed it, and
Dude,
thank you for part of this, brother. I love
Thank
you, man.
you, bro. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everyone enjoys it. And I love you all. I love you, brother. Thank you for having me as for not having me, but wanting me as a part of your project, man. Like you said, you're a one-man band. Like at the end of the day, you really don't need me, if you think about it. But the fact that you want me
I
means a
do
lot to
love
me.
you.
And hey, I'm gonna show up for you. I hope you know that shit, man. I'm not gonna half-ass the shit at all. Like
I have no doubts, my
you're gonna get everything that I have to offer, and I'm not gonna. You're not gonna get anything less from me, brother. Like you're gonna get the fattest drum beats. Like just, I don't know if you know any chest workouts, but you better get ready for that shit because I'm gonna fucking drill that chest with double bass. I hope you know that shit. Like for real.
fucking thanks, brother. I expect nothing less, man. Hell yeah. No, that's a beautiful thing, dude. It's a thing, brother. I'm blessed to have you guys, man, and I'm so excited to do this, take it to
Love you
stage.
guys. Love you, brother.
Hell yeah. Love you, my man. Thank you for your time. You have a good night.
All right.
And
Three.
we'll see you on the next
Well,
one,
hey.
brother. All right.
Well, hey.
Later.
Before, hey,
Yes, sir.
just before you officially sign off, man, I just wanted to do like an outro for the video or whatever.
Please.
But just between you and me, man. And but I love you, bro.
I
Thank
love you.
you. Seriously, man. Like, thank you for even this whole time, man. Like, I know my communication fucking sucks sometimes, just with my kids and my wife, and
Oh,
like
that's
I
life.
never, like honestly, dude, like I never understood growing up. Whenever people were like, "Oh, my kids keep me busy," I was like, "Oh," because I was a kid. I was like, "I don't keep my parents busy. How the fuck can your
Right.
kids keep you?" You know. But no, I fucking get it, dude. No, I get it, bro. Like
You
I
get it
get
now?
it
Hell
now.
yeah, man.
No, I do. I get it. And so I'm so sorry, man. And I hope you know, dude.
Don't
Like,
be, brother. You come
dude,
through and you always answer. You always come back, and we get
dude,
together and we figure it out,
I
man. And
love I love music, and my wife knows like music is like the core of my life, dude. Like she goes to see live shows with me. She knows I love live shows. Like if I can't perform it, I want to see it. You know what I'm saying?
hell yeah, hell yeah.
And so I don't know, man. Just to be able to get on this project with you. I'm not gonna say the ground floor, but just to finally
Yeah,
get in on the project with I know you want it and you're committed and you dude. I mean,
fuck yeah.
every like okay, if I'm being honest, Matt, the only thing I know about you is music. Like I don't know if you have another job or a life outside of music. Like I know you have your woman and stuff, but dude, all I've ever known about you is music, 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 music. Matt makes music. Matt is a vocalist. He does this. Dude, all I've ever known about Matt Butler is music ever. And
Hell
then
yeah.
honestly, dude, that's like one of the reasons why I've like appreciated that you just wanted me as your drummer because I just know that like you're fucking about it, dude. Like,
Hell yeah.
it's like music,
Hell yeah.
music
Thank
is
you,
you,
brother.
man. And I know that, and I feel that because I don't know, man. And I'm very very excited and happy that you wanted me to do this with you because I know you know Ray, I know you know Dirk, and I know you know all these motherfuckers. Like I said, who are probably better than me, but
Nah,
for some reason, you're like, hey, I want this fat ass Mexican dude. Like, hey, I don't know,
nah,
man.
brother. Shit.
That
I
means
wanted you for just the chemistry, man, and the way that we
that
played, and
means the
you are
world to me,
fucking
bro.
phenomenal, brother. Hell
Like
yeah. Thank you.
having kids has made me soft as fuck. And I like, hey, don't get me wrong, like I'm gonna hold my emotion in right now, but I want you to know that I'm gonna commit myself to this shit, and I know that we can fucking take the shit places, dog. Like,
I know we can, brother, and we're
dude,
very lucky to have you, man.
I
And we
love you,
thank you
bro.
for taking the time.
I
I love
love
you.
you. And I'm glad that you have faith in me and this little shitty ass electronic drum set over here, this bullshit right here. But hey,
Hell
the
yeah.
fact that you saw it, like, because like I said, man, I have the matchbook manifesto to this day.
Hell yeah.
Teething and scar engraved are like, oh my god, dude. Why? So why let you? Oh my god,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
I can hear that shit all fucking day, bro. Come on.
That'd be fun
Teething
working hard,
and
have you,
fucking
brother.
scar engraved. Let's go.
Hell
But anyway,
yeah.
man, I love you, dude.
Love you
And
too.
the fact that you want me there with you, I'm gonna fucking kill that shit for you, dog. Don't even doubt it for a second.
I don't, man. I know I'm in good company, brother. I know
I'm gonna
I am.
beat that shit up, bro.
Hell yeah,
I
my
got
man.
you, man.
Fucking,
Thank you
I
so
can't
much,
wait, bro.
man. This opportunity and to be able to play with you guys means more to me than it does to you, man. Trust me, it really does.
Oh man, it means a lot, dude. Yeah, we've been waiting to fucking play the stage together, so you can't
I'm
underestimate
telling
it.
you, man. I'm telling you, dude. Just I, I'm gonna tell you this, man. And I know it's still recording, but if I'm being honest, dude, even with Alex, Alex is like one of my best friends for life, dude. Like Alex, but I've always joined musical projects a little too late, if you ask me, because I just kind of join them past their prime, past whenever they're done playing shows and
Right,
whenever
right,
they're,
right.
done taking it seriously, basically. But truly, truly, I feel like I'm getting in on the ground floor.
You are.
We're like, I'm, hey, we're not gonna play stadiums one day. I'm not saying we have that, but I know that we have the mindset together that this can actually do something more than just like a garage jam.
Fucking absolutely,
And
man.
that's all I want, dude. Like I said, dude, I've never made a dollar from drumming, and I never want to make a dollar from drumming, dude. I didn't say this, but so that guy Bill Cook, who I played lounge drums for, he actually like put cash in envelopes because he hired a keyboardist, a bassist, and me. He hired 3 musicians to play his music, and he
Yeah,
put payment in envelopes for us. I straight up gave that shit back to him, dude. I was
hell
like, I
yeah,
don't want this. I was like, dude, I'm just here for you. Like, I don't want this.
that's
And he
awesome.
tried to give it back to me like 3 times. He was like, bro, this is for you. Please take it. I was like, no, like, hey, you're my friend. I want to play drums, and you allowed me an opportunity to play drums, dude. Like,
And that's
hey,
what's beautiful. Coming from
it,
one of the best drummers in one of the fucking hottest markets in Texas, and just
dude,
just think that he loves to be there and to play, man. So you know what I mean?
I
Like
told him, dude.
that's the
I I,
attitude.
re- I remember, man. We played. I forgot it was called and like I said, man, it's like a lounge music. So we actually booked gigs at coffee shops, just like lounge music, really chill shit. And he still paid us for that, but I still told him I was like, dude, I don't want that shit. Like, keep it, please. Like, I'm just happy to be here. Like, you asked me to drum for you, right? Like, so I'm just happy to be here and drum for you. Like, keep that shit, dude. And every single time I paid him back, like every time he tried to pay me an envelope of money, I gave it back to him, dude. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, I'm not trying to put this in the interview or make myself seem, but I'm just saying, dude, I love you guys and your commitment to music. I loved his commitment to music, and I love your commitment to music. And that in turn makes me want to be a part of it. Like, I don't give a fuck what happens, dude. Like, I will give you $20 if we have to get on stage, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
as long as I'm there, dude, I don't want any of that. As long as I'm there to help you bring it to life and make it a reality, that's all I give a fuck about, dude. That,
Thank
that, that really is, man. Just bringing it to the stage and bringing it to people. I don't give a fuck about anything else, man.
hell
Like,
yeah, brother.
like I can pick up and pack up my drums and move them anywhere. If you told me your address, I'll pick up my drums and take them to you. I'll take them to California. I'll take them to Canada.
Fuck yeah.
Drums can go anywhere. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll play drums wherever.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
then
And it's
I
the
just,
beginning
I
of the
just,
journey for us, man.
just,
Finally.
just the fact that you guys wanted me to have to play drums for you guys and just be there for you, dude. I don't give a fuck, man. Like, I'll pay you guys to let me play drums for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck,
You
dude.
are you're
I
our
love
brother.
that, dude, and I love you.
You are my
And
fucking brother.
this shit is gonna be badass.
Fuck yeah.
We're gonna
Thank
play
you
some
for being
badass
part of
music.
it. Hell yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for just being you, man. And thank you for being my brother in this. And I'm fucking excited too, man. Very, very excited.
Senor Butler, we love you, mijo.
All right, my
Hey,
man.
you take care, bro.
All right, brother. You be good, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man.
Good night. Later.